Definitely so. Last time we seen you, you were in there with the definite Fight of the Year candidate with Juan Manuel Marquez. You came out on the short side of that one. Talk to us a little bit about that classic fight, man.
Well, it was like you said, man, one of those classic fights. That has always been my dream. That I would want to see myself in one of those classic action fights. But I definitely wanted the outcome to be different, but it didn't happen like that, and that's life, man. So I'm putting that in the past. I give a lot of props to Marquez. He's a great fighter and future Hall of Famer, man. So I can't take nothing from him. I lost that night. He beat me fair and square, and there's nothing I could do about it.
Yeah, Juan, I think that people forget that even though you might have lost that fight, I think that people are overlooking the fact that you gave Juan Manuel Marquez pure hell. I think even up until the stoppage, it was a pretty much neck and neck fight. You actually had him hurt a couple times. People weren't even sure about the outcome. What was it like in there fighting with one of the top Mexican legends? I mean, is it something that you feel like you learned a lot from?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely learned a lot. That from that fight, I have to be very smart in there when I go against those type of quality fighters. I can't just go in there and do what I did in my early days, or even as an amateur, just walk in there and throw punches and bunches. I have to be a little bit smarter with these guys. But either way it goes, he gave me the opportunity to fight him, and in the future, I would love a rematch with him if it was possible. But it's one of those things where he fought me. He's a legendary fighter. He can pick his fights, so now he's moving to bigger and better things. But I definitely I thank him for giving me the opportunity, because it made me a better fighter. It made me kind of leave a little legacy of my own in the back, that people can say, oh wow, Juan Diaz was in a great fight against Juan Manuel Marquez.
Uh, what's it like, man? I know you just finished up your Bachelor's of Arts and Science at the University of Houston. I mean, I couldn't imagine just walking around campus and being that high profile of a person. Did it gather you a lot of attention, or did most people just treat you as another student, and it was what it was?
Well, no, man, it did gather a lot of attention throughout my school days, and one thing that I can tell you, that it wasn't hard at all to make friends. Guys would come up to me and introduce themselves, and then ask me, if I was the boxer, Juan the boxer, and I would tell them, yeah, and they'd be surprised. But one thing that I ended up liking, man, is the fact that once class started, we were all students. So I think that's what made a lot of the students there a little bit comfortable. And on top of that, I went in the afternoons, because that's the only time I had to go. So in the afternoons, there's a lot older people that are more mature and have their lives going. So they knew who I was, but were also real very professional, man. I throughout my school years, I didn't get a chance to go early in the mornings with all the people my age.
Let me ask you something, Juan, because we don't come in here and pull any punches. One of the comments that has been thrown at you by everybody in boxing might be your physique. You don't have the hardest body. How do you feel when people I'm questioning you about it? Do you think it makes a difference? Does it bother you? How do you feel when people bring up that issue?
Oh man, it doesn't bother me at all, because I mean, if you look back and you see how many guys in history, or even in the sport right now, you see these guys come in with a great abs, six packs, and they look like they're something. They're bodybuilders, and But one thing that I say to myself, and I tell people, how many guys have been champions 4 times? I'm a 4-time world champion. I may not look like a boxer, but I'm a 4-time world champion. I can show you right now so many fighters that have the physique and look great, man, but don't don't the records, and they don't have world titles to show it, man. So, I think that that's just something that people stereotype boxers as. Okay, they have to have six pack, they have to look like bodybuilders. They have to, I mean, obviously we train very hard, so we must look like we work out. But me, I don't look like a typical boxer, man. And I think that that's why all my fans and all the supporters are behind me 100%, because I don't look like a world champion, like a professional boxer. I look like a regular everyday man, and a regular everyday man can see me and say, wow, he can do it. Then they have that dream that maybe one day in their perfect world they could do that, because I look just like them.
Oh, I look more like you than Bernard Hopkins, but I'm still not trying to get in that ring. We got someone from that 848 area code. Who's on the line?
Yeah, this is Tornado from Lowell, Massachusetts. How you guys doing? I got a question, and in training camp, how much emphasis do you put on your opponent's weaknesses? Like, do you just work off of your own strengths and make yourself stronger, or do you try to make yourself stronger at your opponent's weaknesses?
No, what I focus on a lot is on his strengths. I see his weaknesses, but I'm gonna do what I do best, which is always apply a lot of pressure and try to break my opponent down. But I focus a lot on my opponent's strengths, because I have to know what to watch out for. I have to be careful with his strengths, because if that's what has brought, for example, that's what has made Malignaggi such a good fighter, is all his strengths. So I have to focus on his strengths so that I won't be able or be lured into his fight.
Well, thank you for calling in and talking to Juan. Juan, let me ask you this, man. You know what? I think you going to school is excellent, because I don't think enough boxers, even the highest echelon of boxers, think about their future beyond the ring. There's only so much money you can make in boxing unless you're an Oscar De La Hoya or Mike Tyson. And even then, those guys might not necessarily be prepared after the ring. But do you think going to school could be, at the same time, a detraction for you as a boxer? Because, it's been asked before, you're focusing on boxing and school. Do you think it takes a little bit of your edge as a boxer?
I don't think so, man. I don't think so at all, because I'm only 25 years old, and I already been successful in the ring for many years. I was champion. I became champion in 2004, and my first loss was last year in 2008. So for 4 years, while I was doing the college thing, I also was a world champion. And you don't see too many 25-year-olds that are going to school. You see 25-year-olds in boxing that are barely challenging for a world title or in the top 10. And I've already been a world champion for a couple of years. So I think that if anything, the school helped me out. And I think that these up-and-coming fighters who are just graduating from high school or who are 18, 19 years old might consider that college and school is what gave me the discipline to really focus and stay on the right path as far as boxing is concerned.
We got a caller from the 713 area code. Who is on the phone?
Hey, what's up, man? It's Texas Hustler from that H-Town. You already know. Hey, what's up, Juan?
What's going on, man?
Man? Oh, man, just chilling out here in H-Town. You know how we do. But one thing I wanted to say, man, I've been watching a lot of your fights, winning, checking them out. You're doing pretty good, doing good in your career. But one thing I noticed, man, is last two fights, when you're getting cut up, I don't notice your cut man, really closing that stuff up, man. I always wondered if you ever felt it was an issue. I never see him putting Vaseline on it or nothing like that.
Well, yeah, that's one of the reasons. Well, actually, one of the things that I changed up was now I use Joe Chavez. I used to use another guy, a local guy here from Houston. But I've definitely changed up my cutman, Joe Chavez. He's a more expert guy. He's worked with a lot of guys like Arturo Gatti and also with Oscar De La Hoya. So bringing him on the team could be a big factor, man. And we're gonna see how that plans out or works out.
Okay, yeah, because you guys got the talent, man. Just that cut, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's how you learn stuff. I've learned from my two losses because I've had cuts, and I learned to,